Hello, hello, hello! I am Kazasagi Usagi, and I am here with more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials, and Tribulations. I believe we were in the middle of a trial. It's been so long now. Oh, Jesus, we were in the middle of this? Oh, God. Alright, here we go. It's approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. So that would be 1 o'clock in the morning on the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that they never spotted the thief in the crime scenes before. Precisely! That is precisely why I chose not to hide that last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure on your pigeony head, that is. In any case, that's when my nemesis, the infamous Master Mask, dancingly descended upon me, just as I began to turn the clock, toward the coward, Jesus. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike, and when I awoke, he was gone. Oh, I'm not doing any of this. It's been a few days, and I've forgotten where we are. Dancingly descendant. From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Somebody please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up upon me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. I hereby W Ace Dunce. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask. That's all I can recall. That's not very solid as far as testimony goes. However, fortunately I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. I captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe. Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with the photo? Good. Let's continue with the testimony. Thank God Godot is here. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike, and when I awoke, he was gone. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? That's certainly some very impressive detective work. Ha! Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, yes, actually, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory, too. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory is because I have more brains to begin with. He may have brains, but the wiring to self-reflection part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless. And then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. About this 30 minutes, my silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium. As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying he was out cold. So what happened during these 30 minutes? No one can say, Your Honor. The span of time has truly vanished into the ether. Just what is he going on about? There's something suspicious about a detective Atney. How could he have not noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. But then that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence. Which piece? The real question is, why would he tell us such an obvious lie? Okay, I need to actually... I have no memory of this, and this was exactly my concern. This was exactly my concern about leaving it for a bit, because now I don't remember anything. Well, let's see. I remember that the brooch is missing. And I remember that he said that they fought. Yeah, they said that it had been lost in a fight. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. I forgot how this game works. So I assume that's the only thing I remember. Because if he says he was donked in a single blow, then they wouldn't have the brooch that has been clearly torn off. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay. I'm gonna present the brooch. There we go. Mr. Atney, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Ah, this belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, Master Mask. It is, in point of fact, Master Mask's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously it wasn't glued on well enough. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? Oh! We could only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Atney. Detective Atney, you must have fought with the thief that night. So why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness, giving false testimony is a serious crime. No. Wait just a moment. So old time. Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home. I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately. The true measure of a man is the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time. Isn't that right? You talk too much. Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought? Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor. Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. Look at me. Agreed completely. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, ba-bam, and that's all she wrote. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Master Mask? Correct. It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case. That can't be good. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. So why did you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detecting, infrared, and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lordly Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring, hardware. Naturally, the security camera, that too, the photo belongs to them as well. In other words, you couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer? However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. What does that mean? Discombobulated? Young people these days, they really irritate me. They allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway? Now I've forgotten. What was I saying? Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony. I'm not quite sure what Godot is doing here, because he's done a lot of nothing, which I enjoy. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. What do you mean by a weapon from the side? Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, look at me, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about the Shishito. So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness? A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities. But of course, in college I was the second in charge of the boxing club. I'm sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive. However, my opponent in the ring that time was my arch nemesis, Master Mask. This guy is a real piece of work. His first blow struck true, ba-bam, and that's all she wrote. Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious. Powericious? I assumed that's at me fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me. What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? What is this at-me fighting style? I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is that you put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. That's it? That's the at-me fighting style? Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony? I think it's important. Because I believe he's been saying he's been hit at the back of the head. But if his back's against the wall... Of course it's important. We've learned a detective secret technique after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye. Let me make sure. Where is this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the enlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? So, lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Atme got hit on the forehead then. That's what he says. I had a funny feeling about that. Actually, so do I. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of for now. Yeah, what is it? This look at me guy. He's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Okay. So he wasn't hit at the back of the head. Well, this says he was. I think that's good enough contradicting evidence. Okay, then I was on the right path. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun this is, Solaya. It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No! The coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door, and then my arch nemesis struck me on the head from behind with a gruesome item here. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. Ugh. It seems I have made another mistake. Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. Oh, what do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Ugh. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. What? That's wrong.
Objection.
Oh. Objection. To err is human, to forgive divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on! It's not as pretty as that. Oh. Really? What is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This man is wild. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that... Ooh. This is one of the few cases that I haven't actually been able to piece together. And I legitimately don't know what's going on in it. Like, the crimes and stuff that happen. I definitely think he's a fake. Nor is he an ace detective. That he's masked and masked is quite a tale. And I don't know if that's true. I will get it wrong though. But if we have to assume that our client is innocent, then we need someone else to be masked and masked. He didn't want the police there. And it doesn't actually seem like he got into a fight, he just faked it. I'll ride this train and see where it leads. I know. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's true identity is actually Mask to Mask. That is quite the claim. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says that he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure? That's because I analyzed the crime scene and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask. Mr. Wright, this photo it clearly shows Mr. Mask to Mask. The security camera belongs to the Lordly Taylor department store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn. So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief? If this is true, witness! Oh god. Damask that low is pure genius, and so am I, Luke Atme, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, the lawyer. Wait, what? What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atme, when you assumed the thief's identity... Oh. Godot blend, number 1 or 2. My personal favorite. Mr. Godot! The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true. But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of a whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see the decisive proof you have. Quickly. Oh yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atme looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atme is in fact Master Mask. Whoa. I don't think so. I don't think I have that evidence. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Huh. Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all. I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So you've come to your senses, have you, Sir the Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness is lifted. Mr. Godot, have you anything... Who? Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Miss Delight, what are you doing here? It's a wife. Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for. I think I found it. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's the sacred urn. Nick, it's the urn. I think we just pulled it like a smoking gun. Order! Because she rides motorcycles. She's a motorcycle girl. Order! You, madam! That urn! Where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective, Luke Atme. Oh, Desi, you're the best! Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Oh, it's Look At Me. I understand. I got the name. Look at me, yeah. Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one. Ha. Pathetic. Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. Why don't we just believe the criminals? You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved? Before casting aspirations at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight? Is that correct? Yes, what about it? Huh, how charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. He's not wrong. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong! I would never do such a thing! Miss Delight, please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. I guess... fingerprints? I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I'm always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are we going to do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Abby must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. Oh, we did. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of the person that should be on the urn, it should be us, because we touched something in his, It's so weird showing my own profile. So, what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday? Hey, Nick, come on, open it up! Hey, wait a minute, we can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is important investigation. Well, what's in there? Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth. Well, hello there. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office. Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? It's not what I say, but when Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. He doesn't do a whole lot, and he just kind of talks. It's very nonsensical, but I love him a lot. Yeah, I don't think he's a very good prosecutor, which is interesting. Yeah, I thought maybe I could... He did throw a cup of coffee at me, which was novel, different from the whip. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it was after that was yesterday at the Atme Detective Agency. Ha! This blend. Godot blend number 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all. Order. I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait a moment, Your Honor. Hello, Zach. And thank you for the bean tax. Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Is he gonna try and pin me as Master Mask? Yes, I've finally broken him down. There he goes. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake. You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Master Mask. I hope you all enjoyed my little performance. Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atme's condition? He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came precariously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. And congrats, Zach. That's very exciting. Make sure to take it easy. That second shot can be, kind of gnarly. You're wrong. Wrong, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much. But exactly not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief, the sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me, it's him. I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please. I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but the true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judgment. What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you. Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee. Ha. Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir. If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are Master Mask, then prove it. That's what it means. Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. He says he'll be happy to, Nick? It's kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy. Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that. I won't fail. I swear. Okay then. Talk. We're all listening. Oh, well. Let's all have a listen to this confession. The truth is, I've been Master Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Master Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right here in this photo. That's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle, and it got torn off, that's all. I don't like the direction this trial is taken. But this is how every trial goes, at least with me, anyway. Huh. You're doing great. Stop it, Mr. Godot. You're embarrassing me. That's the same. Like I said, you're only gonna get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true Master Mask. Thanks so much, Mr. Godot! I'll do my best! What is happening? If this kid wants to go to jail so badly, I think we should just let him. Alright, Mr. Wright, I'm afraid the time for cross-examination. The truth is, I've been Master Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Master Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended. Oh, I keep forgetting the major part of this game. Okay. I just want to keep reading. You may think you're the real Master Mask, but your wife thinks you're delusional. I haven't told Desi yet about my true identity, I mean. Believe me, I've got my reasons. But the way your room is decked out, how could she not know about it? Even thieves have complicated family situations, I suppose. What should I do? It sounds like we're about to get sidetracked again. I don't see why we wouldn't, Press. So why are you withholding the truth from your wife? Well, first of all, I don't know. I don't think she'd believe me anyway. And second, if there's one thing that Desi absolutely detests, it's criminals. If that's the case, then why did you ever start thieving to begin with? Well, Desi is crazy about shopping. She's a real shopaholic. But she's the love of my life, Your Honor. I guess you could say I'm a Desi-holic. Oh, thank you for the sippy. So you have a complicated family situation after all. Alright, that's enough. Please continue with your testimony, I beg of you. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Master Mask, can you? I thought you were going to be the one to show us the proof. You know, that you're the real Master Mask and not just some kind of obsessed fanboy. Hey now, that's not fair. Why do I have to do all the hard work anyway? Maybe because you're the one making the outrageous claim for a change. Come on, Nick. You know that Mr. Delight couldn't have committed the crime. You're the one with the fancy law degree. It's time to put it to work already. I highly doubt that Phoenix Wright has a law degree. I need some kind of proof that Ron couldn't be Master Mask. Well, I guess if you had that kind of proof, we wouldn't still be here, would we? For the time being, maybe I need to shift strategy. If I could try and show that Mr. Delight couldn't have stolen the urn. Anyway, I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. You've got no alibi. I've been a judge for a long time, and this is the first time I've ever heard of a defendant brag about having no alibi. But I tell you that I was in Lordly Taylor that night. No, that's too vague, even for me. To be more precise, I was down in the basement warehouse. Hold on. What is it, Nick? Where was Ron Delight when the crime happened anyway? If we can prove he had an alibi, after all, this case will be a piece of cake. Well, you're right, but... You think you can prove that? Wake up and smell the coffee. Well, I think maybe I can. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence that shows that your defendant has an alibi? Yeah... I don't know. I think it's this. I have the evidence. Or do you think I'm still some sort of third-rate rookie? Oh, I've never seen you this angry before. I'm not surprised. Anger is the last refuge of the pathetic. I thought I was more confident than angry. Well then, let's see this evidence already. Show to this court the evidence that proves where your client was on the night of the crime. I think. Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Yes it does. I had lost it somewhere. Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to the police right away. No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence. Evidence? Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at KB Security Headquarters. What? Surely you're not serious. Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was in fact at KB Security that... No! So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car, according to Larry anyway. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee. Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong. You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot. Alright, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. He's really got Mr. Delight all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous. Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB Security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist. Planted it there? He's really reaching now. Mr. Delight, you probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The key card at KB Security's CEO's office? No! Huh. That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you've overlooked one small thing. What? Motive, of course. Why would this thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyway? Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all. This stupid kid. Now then, let's see your evidence. The evidence that shows why Mr. Delight went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night. I think it's this. Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? That's... What is it? A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents. Blackmail? Yes. Basically, it says bring $50,000. That certainly sounds like blackmail, all right. At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with this blackmailer himself. In KB Security's CEO office, a full half hour away from the scene of the crime. Ugh. No! Well, enjoy your cooking. Zach? Order. So when the theft of the urn occurred, the defendant was at KB Security? It looks like a perfect case for the defense. Objection! You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me... Well, let's just say that my Godot blend number 107 impresses me a lot more. What are you trying to say? You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company? But did you actually investigate this CEO at all? Well, no, I guess not. Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof, I'm not sure what I think of that. At least I know what I think of you. Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you will need at least one witness who corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all. What do you mean by that, Mr. Trite? There is someone else who can testify. This is the person who can testify that the keycard was used at 1 a.m. that night. Shit. I have no idea. It's been like a full week. No. Probably not. No. Oh. He works there. And he picked up the wallet. Okay, it's probably Larry. Who is this useless-looking young man? You don't remember him, Your Honor? Not exactly. But just looking at this picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. Looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blocked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at KB Security that night. Oh. The question at hand is this keycard. Yep, that's the keycard that they use in the building I work. According to the serial number, this one is for the CEO's office. You need to get into that room, and every time you use the card, it leaves a record. Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered the room and when. As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO of KB Security. You should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this keycard's data. Well, Mr. Godot, the name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data. Here. So what does it show? Each keycard has its own serial number, and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, the card was used at 1 a.m. on the morning of the crime. What that means? It can't be Mr. Delight dressed as Master Mask in the photo. Ha. That looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good cup of joe. So then... Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for the defendant to be Mask de Mask. Good job! You did it, Nick! That's enough. I came precariously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. What's wrong, Your Honor? I'm ready to pass judgment. But before I do that, do you have any further objections? No, Your Honor. Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. Court is now adjourned. I feel like there's a lot of evidence that we didn't go over or talk about. Nick, you did it! You were right after all! Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. Nicky boy! Oh, Miss Delight. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Ah, shucks. Thanks, Miss Delight. I just know I'm blushing. Congratulations, Mr. Nick. Oh, pearls. I got a bad feeling about this. Who is this woman? Oh, she's nobody. She's just, You're blushing! How dare you do this in front of Mystic Maya? You should be ashamed of yourself! Ouch! She slapped me. Pearly? This woman is Miss Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Oh, Mr. Nick. Yes. You're even worse than I thought. Going behind the back of your own client. No, you've got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Ow, a double slap. Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, right? We got the secret urn back, and the thief has been caught! You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky Boy here. But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us our urn back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please. You're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so glum? Ugh, but I am the thief. Actually, what's the point now? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. I know that I appreciate it, Desi, but the thing is... Come on, give the kid some time. He's just got a little touch of the blues. You know about feeling blue, right, amigo? Mr. Godot, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. I just came here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite. Maybe you should learn my name before you call me Buddy. Well, playtime is over. Early this morning, the body of Cain Bullard was discovered. Cain Bullard? Where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of CEO of KB Security? Wait, body? The estimated time of death was 1 a.m. on October 12th. 1 a.m. on October 12th? You don't mean... That's right, amigo. At the same time that a cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered. So then what are you doing here? Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten that piece of info I helped you out with today? Helped me... what? On October 12th, at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron Delight was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been imbrued with utter rage. What are you saying? Imbrued with rage? Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. An employee of KB Security? It looks like that alibi saved him from being convicted as a thief. It's going to be the noose that gets him hanged. Kind of an anti-alibi. No way. He can't be the thief because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred. No, that's a lie. It can't be true. But I'm a thief, I tell you. Ron Delight, you're going back to prison again. This time the charge is much more serious. This time you'll be tried for murder. Well, what? This is impossible. I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Trite. You and I aren't through with each other yet. Surely you won't back down from a challenge. You've never been a coward. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here. This guy. Who the heck is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced. Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. Delight. Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client has been arrested for murder. And the one who established his presence at the scene was me. Ronnie! Well, that's pretty rough. Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. What the heck is going to happen next? I was really excited that this case was over. I was like thrilled to be done with everyone in it. Unfortunate for me. I hated Luke at me so much. And I don't like Ron very much either. I was so excited that it was over. Well. How we're gonna get out of this one, boys? You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again. Well, supposedly, Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose! I don't buy it! But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself, at least from what I can understand. Looks like you did too good a job this time, Nick. Well, how about we get started looking into the KB security murder? I think I'm going to head back to Corinne Village for a little while, if that's alright. Sure, but why? I'm going to bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with... No, Mystic Maya should stay here. I want you to spend some quality time together, full of love and happiness. Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy, she forgot there's a murder to solve. Now remember, no fighting, okay? She's gone. Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation. So, what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder. Well, first we need to find out exactly where KB security is located. Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know. Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you? I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Delight. Okay, well, let's make sure we go to the Dungeon Center, too. You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back, huh? You bet! But there's something a little different about it. Don't at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. I mean, it clearly says, I am, on the urn in the poster. But the urn we got back says Ami, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago, when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Ami's name into I Am. And the repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. Is it possible that the urn is a fake? I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Corinne Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Corinne Village in a long time. So I guess people still go to Corinne Village to do their training, right? Yep, if you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen. Is what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in her village. It happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses the Corinne technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. That murder... It wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but... I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. Sounds like being the master of Corinne is going to be a heavy responsibility. Oh, Jesus. I already told you, it's not me! A sad, pitiful whine that tapers into silence. Sounds like they're interrogating Mr. Delight right now. Man, and we don't have enough time as it is. Yeah, well, I guess the police are going crazy just like we are. Yesterday they thought he was a thief, but now they got a murder on the case on their hands. I guess you're right. That guard over there looks a bit on edge, too. Come on, we'll just have to come back later. Okay, let's go check out some other place, Nick. Oh, Nicky boy, Maya. Miss Delight. All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie would never hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Miss Delight had such a vulnerable side. Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never, ever kill anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die." He would never say that. Anyway, Miss Delight, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you, that's just a fantasy for him. Miss Delight, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief? Huh, the very idea. I guess I just don't get it. Huh? Get what? I just can't understand how they can be so different, and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Come on now, Nicky boy. It's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. For me, anyway. What? For you? I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves. No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. There's nothing that I hate more than cowardly men. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atmey's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. I went there to try and find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yeah, obviously, the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah. And Detective Atmey knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then you went there to ask him some questions? That's right. I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said, the ace detective isn't in right now, but I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. Oh yeah, we saw that bag there yesterday too. There's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin a crime on someone else. Miss Delight, do you know about KB Security? Don't be silly. Of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today... Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. Ron quit. It looks like Miss Delight doesn't know. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away by motorcycle. By motorcycle, that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit that I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. Oh!
Also, I have money.
Oh, thank you very much. That was very sweet. Congrats on your new bunny. New bunny badge. To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass. Thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves? Haha, what a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Miss Light told us the location of KB Security. Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick. So, was it really love at first sight when you met Mr. Delight? Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. Saved your life? I was at work one day when 2 robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back. Robbers? Yeah, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running in to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. He went right up to those 2 knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please stop it, he screamed. I could see it. The robbers' faces turned pale. That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the 2 robbers. All by himself. He came to save me, a total stranger, all by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. Wow, that's a great story. Yeah, he may not look it, but in tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. That's so romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. Isn't she 16? Well, she's probably 17 now. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys! It's just weird. It's a very heavily pushed thing. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Wow, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Ho, ho, ho. Or something to that effect. Do I really sound like that? Like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs, and I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. He literally got in a car crash for Maya to help save her life. Now if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder. Okay. But the thing is, I'm really not supposed to. Hey, come on. What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now, and we need your help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security, and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. The estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Probably an object in this room. It happened exactly at the same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn, huh? So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe. Safe? Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. I think we still need some more information about Mr. Biller. Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right. So, what happened to Mask? He's in the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again! He keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean the detective at me? Oh, that was great! That guy got what he deserved! Now that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Atme was always around when a calling card showed up, but he was always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was the thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just didn't make himself look like a great detective, that's all. There's one thing I can't figure out about his first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tear of Ammonon case. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it. Hey, this guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before? It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... Oh, that prosecutor! I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. Yeah, I think he did it that way because he knew it hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godot? Oh, he's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true. According to the records anyway, but no way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in court. A maverick that gives me goosebumps. Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular. No, that's not what I meant. That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. This rope. You think it fell out of the safe when it was opened? I don't think so. So you mean... Yeah, I think this string shows where and how the corpse was lying. You mean... the victim. He was killed by being crushed by the safe door? She can't be serious. Can she? Ew! Think about it. A dead guy was laying in here all night. Yeah, oh, by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints. There were none. Well, somebody opened his safe on the night of the crime, right? Yeah, and so? Well, if Mr. Bullett's body was hidden in here, it must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right? Yeah, I guess so. Ho ho ho! I got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready? Okay, shoot. Opening this baby is no piece of cake. There are only a few people who know how to open this safe, pal. Yeah, and everyone knows how to open this safe. Had airtight alibis. I checked. Everyone except one, that is. I'm almost afraid to ask. Former security chief Ron Delight. What? Ron Delight? He was a security chief? Ron? So he knew how to open the safe, huh? Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal. Wow, look at that huge framed photo. Tall mountains rising majestically against the dark and cloudy sky. There's a title written on the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise? This guy didn't get out enough, or he had really rotten luck with the weather. Maybe if he had lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days. Oh, there's a button here. Let's see. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. That was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What is this button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Whoops, you're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime? Oh! So when the CEO was attacked, do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we better go and talk to that guard about the emergency buzzer. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out, just for a second. Oh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey you, whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. Ah, this is the life. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know? Woo! These look like some kind of bookshelf rolling cabinet hybrid. I can't get between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel. So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with a bunch of files. Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs that they were hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. Check out this big thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly back-breaking work. Just a little hard on the eyes. Ah! What did you find out? This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about mask to mask. It's filled with info on him. What? What kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and crime scenes. Hey Nick, look at the last page. It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Eminon, 100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Mask to Mask stole. So then 100,000 is the value of the stolen item. I don't know. That number sounds like kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. Okay. Oh god, I'm terrified of what new character I'm about to meet. Really is something else. For a security guard office, it sure doesn't feel very secure. KB security guard. Uh-oh, I just remembered. Larry might be... Hey Nick, what's up? Damn it. I want a new character. So he is here. Yo, how's it hanging, dude? And you got my sweet little Maya with you too. Hi, Larry. Hey, I was working my fingers to the bone, and in walks an angel. I've got no problems with a daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. Well, if it's about the murder case, boy have I got some good info for you. Really? What is it? Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya. But Nick here is a different story. But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies. That was then, and this is now. So what's this good info you were talking about, Larry? Hey, I'm a guard, a pro. I just can't give away information for free. He wants a bribe? I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest. Can you talk to him, Maya? Larry, tell us already. What's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kitten has got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Rhonda Light was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Rhonda Light was fired. And there was no warning at all. It just happened, all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful. I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that. Like, maybe skipping out on work to go pick up hot chicks or something. No, that's just you. So what is it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me, I get by alright, I guess. First, I have to keep my eye on those monitors all the time. Monitors? There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out. Oh. And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams. What teams? The security teams for the company. They're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either, so if it's something small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? What? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. Even if it is a part-time and you are dumb, you're still in charge of security here. Hey, give me a break. Don't try to pin the whole thing on me. That's not fair, Nick. Huh? I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility. Anyway, the point is you were here that night, right? Ugh. Oh no, I knew something smelled bad, and it was the butts after all. Well, it's like I always say. That was then, and this is now, okay? Looks like I'm going to have to break his psyche locks after all. Oh, I think I can actually do this. Oh shit. Because I just have to prove he was there, right? He was the one that found the wallet. Why is this man so dumb? On the night of the crime, you were working hard like you were supposed to? What? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Miss Delight? But that was that. And this is this. Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night, too? Never! I don't sneak out! I'll tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1. Wow. Now that's confidence. What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have any evidence that I left my position? Or are you just pulling my chain? The evidence that Larry was not manning his station when the murder happened is... Oh, right. I think it's this. I think. The wallet. You know about this, right? I've never seen it before. Liar! You hand-delivered this wallet to Miss Delight just yesterday. Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet? I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. 1 o'clock. In the morning? That's right. In other words, Larry, At the time of the murder, you were away from the security guard office. Ugh. Yeah, but there's something you didn't think about. And what's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine. Why do I have a feeling he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that... Yeah, he's a security guard. That seems like a terrible idea. We know with a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift. Larry, when you use this key card, does it leave a record? Well, I think the man who hired him is dead, so it kind of just explains a whole lot. Yeah, it does. But I can show the record to just anyone. But I can't just show the record to just anyone, you know? The keycard data was already made public in the trial today. What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me. Boy, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard. Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 a.m., the time of the murder. No way! Yes, someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Oh. Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time. Yeah? No! Oh, I knew it. It's all my fault. It's my fault that the boss was killed. My fault. Larry. There was nothing I could do. I have important issues to deal with too, man. What happened that night anyway? My Donna happened. Huh? Your Donna? I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, my Donna called and said, I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her and he was standing there right next to her. Who was? Her new boyfriend. It was like some horrible joke. Before I knew what was going on, the guy socked me right in the kisser. Normally, I'm the one who does the punching. Isn't that right, Maya? Yeah. So that's why you left the security guard office? Ugh, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. How can I ever make up for it, Nick? What can I do? What? He's curled up on the floor, crying like a baby. Oh boy. Nick! Is there anything I can do? Anything. Just name it. I'll do whatever I have to do to make up for it. I swear I will. Larry. Hey, Nick. As long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got? She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information from him. Nick! I think it's this, right? The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right? That's right! Just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya. Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your heart. I promise I'll come running to your rescue, just like the professional bodyguard I am. Wow, that was pretty good. Thanks, I try. Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now? Yes, please tell us. Okay, I guess so. Prepare to be wowed. I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier. Yeah, I heard it. So that was you, huh? You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office? Well, this is the 3rd floor of the basement. The CEO's office is on the 1st floor. I thought it would be a pretty good idea to adopt a wait-and-see approach. Plus, there's a police detective here, right? I just didn't think it was necessary. It's as if he's trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet. Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off that night? Then it must be a record, right? You must have had a look at it, right? Of course I did! And I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either. Do you think you could take a look just once more? Do you think you could take just one more look for me, pretty please? Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya. What do you think, Nick? He's probably right. I don't even think Larry could— Wah! What is it? What's wrong? I made a mistake! Huh? But how? It can't be. It's impossible. Okay, enough already. What about the records? That night, it went off just once, in the morning, at around 1 a.m. 1 a.m.? That's when the murder happened! Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be. Well, are we done here? I have all your dialogue, so I'm going to assume yes. Let me look at things really quick. Something is written on this poster in fine print. A guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. 1. Obey thy superior. 2. Respect thy superior. 3. Smile at thy superior. 4. Salute thy superior. 5. Buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you come face to face with her real, genuine ray gun. Yeah, sounds scary, alright. Well, fortunately she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. Ugh, thank God. My voice can't handle that. That's my parents... That's my partner seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady. Oh, thank you. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know? Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. It still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess. I will take those sippies, thank you. Hey Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it? That's right. Did you know you just hung it on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never ever touch that lever. She scowled and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got a greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket wave pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspension just kill you? Don't you want to know what'll happen? Huh? It's true. It's killing me too! What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Those screens there show what's going on all over the building. Everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them. All of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you. Can you watch just regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking. It was a professional investigation, alright? Alright, I'm done with this man. Treasure of Crane exhibit is all ruined now. Maya. I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This was our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling. Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we've got the sacred rune back, maybe they can reopen it. Really? Sure, maybe they can label it the Urn of Master Mask's Desires. That'd probably attract a lot of attention. Whoa! 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 That's brilliant, Nick! We could clean up and be filthy rich! Woohoo! Wow, that was surprisingly easy. Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright! Miss Andrews. What's she still hanging around here for? So, how's it going? How about the sacred urn? The urn? Oh, that's already been taken care of. What do you mean, oh that? Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found? Yes! It was brought in during the trial today. Wow, really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it. Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. I just heard about it on the news. I have no idea. So that detective was actually the thief all along. It looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring Damask to guard the treasures. Don't blame yourself. You were just doing your job. Hey, Nick, if she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atme again? About 20 days ago. Yeah, I guess it is a hardback. I hadn't noticed. And when was it that Master Mask calling card arrived? That was about 10 days ago. So he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard. I guess that's it then. Detective Atme must have really wanted the sacred urn after all. I guess so. What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well? Well, that's how things look right now. Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at the time. Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything is possible. Nick, let's get down to business already. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atme? No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never caught a glimpse of him. He claims that's the way he always operates. That's just what he says so he can have an alibi while he commits the thefts himself. Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene photo dressed up as Master Mask pretty well. I'm so glad that you got your sacred urn back. Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it. What is it? I'm not exactly sure, but somehow the urn that came back seems different. Really? You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews? Nope, I don't know anything. Why would I? Psyche locks. What do you think this means, Mr. Nick? It means the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. She does look like Riza Hawkeye. I love Riza. I think she put the vase back together, but I don't think I have any evidence. Let me take a look. Oh, I have nothing. Okay. I am very sleepy. really? Well, beans. Whoa, this place is literally crawling with cops. What did you expect? Now that they know he was actually masked to mask, this must be incredibly embarrassing for them. What do you think? Yeah, I guess they're trying to make up for by tearing the place apart. Hey, I just noticed. Gumshoe is nowhere to be seen. Well, he is a homicide detective. He's probably working on the murder case. But wasn't he in charge of mask-to-mask investigation all the way up to yesterday? Well, a murder case is a lot more exciting, isn't it? He'd say something like, "There's nothing like a good murder case, pal." Points for the quality of the impression, but I'm not sure Gumshoe has a bloodlust, Maya. I actually don't know where I'm supposed to go. Was I not actually done with him? I've seen all this stuff before. I think I'm actually missing something with Gumshoe. Yeah, we only have 3. Detective Gumshoe, about this right here. Sorry, it's hard to believe, but there's a limit to how much my brain can hold. I got 2 ears and 2 eyes, but I only got 1 brain. I can see your eyes and the ears, but the jury is still out on the brain thing. Hey, Nick, if you have something to say, just come out and say it. Oh. About this blackmail letter. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it too, pal. Why would King Bullard have been blackmailing Rhonda Light anyway? Well, Mr. Light used to work at KB Security, right? But what was it that made him quit? Nick, that's it! Maybe that's the same reason he's being blackmailed. Well, I'm in the middle of investigating that right now. Oh, alright. Oh shit, that's not it either, huh? I always knew there was something suspicious about this guy, and I was right! It turned out that the mask was really the ace detective in disguise! You really thought that? Huh? Of course! It's the stone cold truth! Sooner or later, a guy like that always shows his true colors. Yeah, well, I think we saw a little too much of his colors today. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bluebard. That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal. Oh yeah, the victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now. Oh, okay, Nick. This now is our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard? He was the CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway? Well, the company basically sends security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had a chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too! I just love money. I can't ever get enough. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, it looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions. Oh. So that's my problem. I need to be shiftier. Let me go already. Apparently he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies. Oh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded. Yeah. Oh, KB Security used to be the head of security operations against Mass to Mass. What? Really? Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? There we go. That was the last piece of information I needed. There we go. Oh, Mr. Wright! Mr. Delight, did they finish your interrogation? Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore. Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you? Well, you see... On the same night the sacred urn was stolen from Lord Lee Taylor department store, a blackmail letter summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then, that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it. Okay. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are Mass to Mass? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating. But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we? Take a good look, everyone! But I love them all. All three prosecutors are so good. I couldn't. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So then the person dressed up as Mass to Mass in this photo, it's gotta be the detective Abby. So that night, you didn't want to go to Lord Lee Taylor. You went to KB Security, right? Yes, I went to KB Security at the time of the blackmail note said I should. Alright, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the key card to unlock the door. That's probably when he dropped his wallet. When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there. Someone? Then suddenly, they bashed me over the head. Bam! Was it Kane Bullard that hit you? I don't know. That person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So that's why you put it in the safe? Yes, that's right. What the hell is happening? I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it. Okay, and what did you do after that? Well, I got out of there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them. Nick. All of a sudden, Mr. Delight kinda sounds like the murderer to me. Please don't say that. Fuck. Well, that silhouette was... Look at me. Look at me. So the problem... we had to prove that there was no way for Delight to be in two places at the same time. But now we have to prove how someone, look at me, was in two places at the same time. I hope it isn't something crazy like daylight savings time. I don't know what day is it in Phoenix Wright day time. But that's the that's the only thing I can come up with at this point. Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you? I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi, please. Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Oh, thank goodness. Or no, I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over. Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place? Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that can bring in enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway. So he became Master Mask for Desiree, huh? Hey, this is an article about my debut heist. Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail. But Master Mask, he must have gotten away, right? It says that in the article he disappeared. That's right! I got a sudden burst of information. Of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed into my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh? Wow, awesome! Hey, hold the phone. The guard in this photo. Is that you, Mr. Delight? That's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself. Nice and easy to figure out. Even pearls could see through that in a heartbeat. But as you might expect, Detective Atme found the disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective. Detective Atme found the Mask disguise? Huh, that's interesting. Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him. Oh!
Devilman Killer, 4-month long.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Oh. Thank you, Devil. Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him. Hello? So that's it. That's when Atme got his hands on this. Thanks to that, I got the chance to remake my costume. That must have been really time-consuming, huh? Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of the blackmail letters. Blackmail letters? You got them starting when? Tell me more now. Hey, calm down. And don't get so worked up. This blackmail letter, is this the first one you got? No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Amanon heist. That first letter, it said, I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity? Just like that? It's not easy being a master thief, you know? I've got proof that it was you, so give up, it went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up the treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. Is that right? Hey, hang on a second. What do you mean you had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box, the letter specified someone sent me $10,000. No one said anything about me being worried, you know. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. Plans? Oh, there it is. What are these plans you're talking about? They were instructions on how to steal a crown or a painting or some other rare treasure. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods. So you mean that the one who planned the heists wasn't you? No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. It sounds like Mr. Delight is thankful to the person that was blackmailing him. So Ron Delight was Masked to Mask after all? But someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail. All I had to do was deposit the treasures I stole into the safe deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail. Could you try not to look so gleeful about it? So you went after the sacred urn because of those plans too? Well, see, truth is, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what I was told to steal. Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me the truth? Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay? Ron, before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Yes, but please don't hurt me. Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him? Yes, of course! I could never... I'm not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. But then I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday. Why? Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right? I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight. I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight as his word. Mystic Maya! Hey, Pearly! I'm back! Hey, Pearls, so what have you been up to this whole time? Isn't it a 4-hour train ride? The sacred urn, it's fine. The sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Currien Village to have it examined. And what did you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Whew, that's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem. Problem? These cute little pink splotches. They said it's paint, and they were put on the urn recently. Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? We've got to find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yes, Mr. Nick. We've got to find out how they got there. Okay. We'll find out how they got there. Please don't forget about me. I think I know how they got there. I actually don't know how to get to where I need to get to. There we go. Oh, it's October. I don't think we'll have a daylight savings time excuse. Oh, Pearl, how nice to see you. Hello there. I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to? Well, actually, I was having this urn examined. Oh, I see. Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here. Nick, let's look around one more time. This box, there's something about it that's been bothering me. That's the box the sacred urn was in. It looks like there's some pink paint on it too. And it's definitely the same color as the stuff on the urn. I think I know how the paint got on it now. Alright, let's investigate again, Nick. It looks to me like it's been dry for several days. There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly, and it's shockingly pink. Mr. Nick! Could it be this odd shape is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Oh, that's the box that the sacred urn was in. If you look here, there's a little bit of paint on the box as well. Wow, you're right. Look, it matches. What is it, Mr. Nick? This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn. Okay, I think we're good now. Can I unlock? Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the sacred urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be a fake. A fake? You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn that was submitted at the trial was genuine? Oh, Pearl's got it examined. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearls went back to Current Village and had it examined. Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how. What she discovered was that the urn had been broken again. Did you say again? Yes. It was broken once a year ago. And now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently, too. Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Probably... This poster. It was made recently, right? Poster? Oh, the poster for the exhibit. At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said I am on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says Ami. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed. Ugh! I am. What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't even there when this photo, for the poster was taken. That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth. Wait. Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it. Huh? Yes, that's it. It must have been one of the people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened. It looks like she's not going to give up that easily. Give up that last psyche lock so easily. Do you have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lordly Taylor? Well, Miss Andrews, what is this supposed to mean? There is pink paint all over this urn. Ugh. And there is pink paint all over the floor and walls of the basement warehouse. In other words, this urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But... Uh-oh. She's trying to make her escape. But you can't... But you can get pink paint anywhere. Well, there's none in my office, that's for sure. Well, there is in my room. Lie. Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor, there's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint on the urn to the paint on the floor is... this box. This urn was stored in this, right? Yes, that's right. Well, there's pink paint on this box as well. Ah! I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yes, more or less. The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted on it, doesn't it? Yes. If you put this box on the impression on the paint, you can see that it fits perfectly. Which means this box was dropped right over here. And that is when the urn was broken. Your name does you justice, Mr. Wright. I'm so sorry. I was the one who broke the urn. Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher. I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide what I did. Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly? No, not at all. I know just how she feels. It happened about 2 weeks ago. Just after the poster photo was taken, on the same day the urn arrived here, I thought I'd put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. When I tripped on a paint can and lost my balance, the box I was carrying crashed to the ground. I heard a terrible noise and thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box, and that's when it happened. The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right into the paint. I was in shock. And let out a huge scream. I can totally see how that could have happened. Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Korean Village, so I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big. And that's when the I am got changed to Ami. I didn't know how it was originally written, but any sane person fixing it could have assumed it said Ami. Any sane person? Really? Oh, Pearls. She said she wasn't very good at spelling. Anyway, I put the urn in the storeroom, and no one has seen it since then. But there's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains. Well, that's because it was so ugly and embarrassing. I used the golden statue to cover it. The Ami face statue. Aha! The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen. But Mr. Nick... There were no paint marks on the walls or floor of the warehouse. Well, there's good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realized that the statue would be perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I see. Now it makes perfect sense. But there's still one thing I find strange. What is it, Pearl? The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. At the time, the statue had been moved and the paint clearly visible. She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews? Huh? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it here to cover the paint, so why would I move it again? Well then, who was it? Who could have done it, and why? On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. And the next day, it was moved. But why? It looks like there's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case. Why? Why do you think so, Nick? Because that night, the real thief, Rhonda Light, was at KB Security. So then why did another mask show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact. One undeniable fact? The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance. Ugh. That was a lot. I have no idea what's going on. I assume Luke at me did the murder. So I don't know how he was in two places at the same time. I'm sure all will be revealed tomorrow. I am gonna have to call it here. I don't want to stop in the middle of a trial again. That was a nightmare. And I didn't remember anything. We were in mid cross examination, so let's not do that again. And trials run so long, so I think it'll probably be like another hour and a half. And I'll just. This is a good stopping place, and I will probably finish up this case, God willing, tomorrow, and we can start probably the third chapter, whatever that is. So, thank you so much for being here, and thanks to everyone who subbed up. That was very, very sweet. I appreciate it very much. I'll be back with more Phoenix Wright at 2 p.m. tomorrow, but I will be back in an hour and 45 with more Near Replicant. I think we are getting right into plot, so don't miss it. Like, plot is happening the moment I start up the game, because plot was starting when I left my save screen after I had ended stream. So things will be popping off immediately. I hope you all have a very lovely afternoon, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.